Hello one and all, welcome back to ArcheAge Inspiration. My name's Cilantro. Today's rolls are 3, 7, and 9. So let's see what we've got here. 3 is Occultism, 7 is Oromancy, which we already have, and 9 is Shadow Play, which makes us into a Planeshifter. Alright, let's see what a Planeshifter can do. Alright, this is the Planeshifter. This build is focused on combat initiation. When you're in a standoff situation in group PvP, this build's main goal is to get into the situation, pick somebody out of it, or otherwise cause some shenanigans, and then get out safely. A number of other initiations type builds will usually use some sort of defensiveness, overall just tankiness to survive an initiation, but this one relies almost exclusively on its maneuverability. Having a very fast global cooldown is extremely important, making sure that you can use your abilities in rapid succession. Therefore, Thwart, combined with Hearten, allows you to have a very fast global cooldown, in addition to my recommendation that you should use a Spellcaster one-hander and a offhand. That is whatever stats that you need. The spellcasting is kind of optional, but it will give you a little bit more damage from the few various damage spells you actually will have. The mobility suite is quite extensive. For initiation, in terms of getting in there, you have Overwhelm. You also have Teleportation. You have Shadow Step. These three abilities will allow you to advance closer to the enemy, generally. For Retreat and other movement options, you have Drop Back, which allows you to, of course, jump out of the way of harm. Free Runner, giving you a move speed boost, as well as Comet's Boon, giving you a move speed boost. And while technically not a movement skill, you have Mana Force, which forces a target away from you, potentially pushing them into harm's way. So the idea for initiating with this build would be to use whichever tools you find necessary at the time, whether it's stealth, potentially a blink. This build actually has, although it didn't trigger right there, the 10th level passive in Oromancy, Teleportation Discipline, giving you a 50% chance to allow for consecutive teleports, allowing for supreme mobility. This will be augmented a lot when the level 55 patch drops and we get a second teleport in Oromancy called Mirror Warp, allowing for even more maneuverability. But whatever means of initiation you choose, you have a few options at your disposal once you actually get there. If there's a few targets you're going to snag, you're probably going to be better off, or best off rather, using Hell Spear. This is a point-blank AoE stun, which will make anybody who's near you significantly less likely to actually attack you. When you actually do get in close, since it's very likely that your targets will be facing towards your group, there's a very simple and easy way you can initiate the fight. If you simply do a Shadow Step, if I could even hit the right ability for Shadow Step, there we go. You do a Shadow Step, you then Impale and immediately Mana Force. And what this will do is this will teleport behind the target that's facing you. Therefore, you are now facing your group, and when you Mana Force that target towards your group, they will be isolated, and you can deal with them however you wish. For actual damage, this build doesn't have a lot of options. This is mostly meant to be a support build that will help clean up fights that have been started. Your job is to start the fight successfully, and then use what damage and utility abilities you have to help clean up the fight. But anybody who's been in a big, large-scale fight in this game knows that a good initiation can change a battle's pace very quickly. I think this build has a lot of tools to do so. For the actual damage, we do have Rapid Strike. Rapid Strike is not the greatest ability in the world, but if you do hit somebody enough times in short succession, you will inflict the Distressed debuff, which is very powerful and combines very well with Crippling Mire. Crippling Mire will actually stun the target for the duration of that. So if you have managed to isolate someone with Mana Force, you can use Crippling Mire to either slow them down if they are trying to run away, or you can attempt to start rapid striking them, counting on the crowd control of your allies, and then follow up with Crippling Mire once you've inflicted distress to maintain the crowd control lock and hopefully finish them off. You have a few other options, of course, as well. Leech provides a crowd control option. You could, for example, blink in, use Hell Spear to disable a few people, leech one of them that's more problematic than others possibly, Mana Force, and then escape however you wish. As I showed earlier when I hit the wrong key, you do have Comet's Boon. Between Comet's Boon and Free Runner, you have a very fast initiation tool as well. Just simply running through can provide a lot of movement speed. In addition, any of your allies who are also following the Comet's Boon will get the benefit of its move speed bonus. Quite nice. The unfortunate downside of Comet's Boon is that it does actually consume your Inspire stacks. So I would advise using it either as a general purpose initiation when your actual Inspire stacks are not that important, or towards the end of a fight where maybe you need to give chase. It's there for utility and there's an option, but not necessarily something you want to be using all the time. You also, of course, have Shrug It Off and Liberation. These will both remove and prevent debuffs. Shackle and Silence would be very debilitating to this build, as would, of course, a Stun or Impale. You have an option to possibly pick up Stillness. This will give you a Silence when you initiate as well, if you wish to have it, in addition to the ability to remove Fear, which can work quite well as a counter-initiation tool. If somebody blinks in and uses Banshee Wail, you'll be able to use this. I chose not to grab it. You could drop Crippling Mire, say, for example, to grab Stillness, but I chose not to get it. Mana Stars is here, not so much for its damage, but for its utility. The stacked debuff that it provides gives quite a nasty effect in combat. If I can shoot a few Mana Stars here, you can see up to 20 stacks, you'll have a 20% damage reduction on the target, as well as a 40% move speed reduction on the target, providing yourself a little bit of extra inhibition for anybody who's trying to move around the battlefield. I feel like this type of build has a relatively large skill ceiling. You don't have a very straightforward path on how to play this. This is the kind of build that you really would have to have a lot of practice to be able to do properly, but in group PvP and even in small scale stuff, this build's got some real potential. Your crowd control elements are there. Your extra mobility is often very, very useful in a small scale fight. You can run circles around your opponents by blinking, dropping back, shadow stepping, overwhelming. Get in, get out, do your damage as you see fit, and have fun with the Planeshifter. Seems like a lot of tools available and a very enjoyable build. So thank you for watching the video. Thank you for enjoying the video and liking the video, and I will see you next time.